Namaste and welcome to class. Today I want to take the time to answer some questions regarding the right actions. So some of my friends have say, what is really right action? So I'm going to take segments so you know what I'm talking about. The first segment I'll say is how the common word right action have been used in morality and religion to create certain order in civilization, to prevent the humans to kill each other, to have some respect, to have some boundaries, to increase virtues, to make some kind of harmony and within and externally. So, for example, the Buddha, let's take the example of Buddha. Buddha say the right action are divided in three. It's a refrain from taking life, right? So no killing. Christianity say the same thing. No killing. And here it's interesting because it's the right use of prana. It's the right use of life force. So you don't damage or take life force from anybody. Right? In all times it was more about, not killing yourself in war or something like that. But in here also, as our civilization progress, it's also not to take the life force of others, right? Sometimes you're so needy that you go there and you just talk and you pay attention to me, don't go away, what do you think? All that subtleness, you are taking away the life force of somebody. The other part that Buddha say is no stealing. Refrain from stealing. Again, it has to do with keep the boundaries, don't be greedy. Another moral thing that the Buddha say is restrain from sexual misconduct. Right, so all this are very targeted to keep certain morality, keep certain order, to harvest inside some kind of virtue. Now, the type of right action that I am referring is a more subtle. And in here you have to have sincerity that I often speak about. The sincerity of what is it you are doing. So the right action that I am referring is free from any outcome. You are not doing this so you can gain something. Some kind of satisfaction, some kind of self-importance. And that doesn't mean that you are not using your intellect to produce your living, for example. You are doing the action of being a teacher or the action of being a shoemaker with certain outcome, the excellency of having a good teaching or having a good shoes. But that is in congruence with the second part, that is right action is coherent with your higher purpose, with your higher potential. And when here you have to understand that only you know your potential by solving challenges, by taking challenges. But the challenges cannot be reactive. The challenges cannot be with an action to take yourself out of the challenge. It's to immerse yourself in the challenge and see how you handle it. Right? So the right action is free from any hidden agendas. That is the purity. You don't have a hidden agenda. You don't have any outcome, any cunning. I will do this so I can gain this, and then I can gain that, and so on. Because then you bounce to the future, and from the future you get all worried that things don't get your way, etc. But in the moment, in each day, if you have that presence, if you have that clarity, the congruence of where is it that you need to be, and what to do, what to say, to who to be with, is in congruence with all your chakras. And that is the right action. And that right action leads the way. It flows. There is no impediments. Your prana is not jerking. You don't go into loops of remorse and the word I'm looking for is the ambition. So, give you an example. Recently, one of my friends got rejected by a partner, by a person who was in love with, or the idea that he was in love with. And he got so mad, so mad. And in that reaction of madness, lose the clarity of self-responsibilization. It doesn't say, I am taking this personally, and this have nothing to do with me. That person is going in another direction, and that's for my better good. But the person inside got hurt. Oh, why she is doing this to me? She's a bad person. And the more blame he put, the more the flames of anger increase. And here the thing about anger. Anger is a liver thing. It's a rising the frequency of what you have, the more infantile part, it start increasing the frequency. And you start seeing it. And you start seeing the tantrum. And the liver is connected to your third eye. The one that sees. The one that guides. The one that leads. But in the moment that lower frequency hit the third eye fragment itself, and it becomes like a crystal with multiple faces. So you will enter into the house of mirrors. You don't know what is real. You don't know what are you perceiving. Is she hurting me? Is she that way? Is me this way? Am I right? What I should do? I should say something. I should not say something. Why I'm repeating this? is a house of mirrors in the third eye. And any knowledge that is given to try to pacify that, it gets distorted to fuel his own selfishness, his own self-irresponsibility. So nobody can enter really into that house of mirror without being muted or corrupted. So then my friends say, okay, now I need to write a note and tell her how much she have hurt me. I say, don't do that, because you're not ready. You're reacting. But he did it anyway. And now the remorse. Oh, I should not have said that. And the guilty continued. But here, it's important to know that that loop of anger, that underneath is just a helpless, insecure child who just need love and compassion. He need containment in his aggressivity. But that loop is what that child knows as a life and as a life force. So it's not this incident about this person. It's all what she represents. But any action that is done under that loop, apologies or reactions, aggressivity, candies, sweets, is still in the loop. It's not going anywhere. And that is not the right action. So the right action is simply to put that loop aside and say, I am using this loop to avoid my true response to what I know. And it's in here where the purification and meditation, the stillness, put that loop at least at bay. Otherwise, humanity is based in actions that are not self-sustaining. Because any action that is not right action or pure action ends up in destruction, in abuse, in regret. Because it's not based in self-responsibility. So again here, reflecting the self-responsibility, which is not a duty, but the right response to what you know, rather than responding to a reaction, responding to your self-interest, your self-importance. It's a fine line. But once you find the right action, you are in the path of surrender. And here another piece for your surrender. And to find the right action. Only the one that have a strong self-value, a strong self-esteem can surrender. The one that is weak, the one that is not self-responsible, cannot surrender. Because in surrender, you are giving all of yourself, all your actions, to a divine order that you don't understand, that you don't know, that is undescribable, that is devoid. So all these pieces are together for your surrender. And anything that stimulates inner surrender may come up, these fears, these big reactions, these big projections, as part of the process. But it's so important you don't walk the ups of the loops and the downs of the loops. Right? Oh, I am a victim of what I did. Poor me. I am wronged. My life is a failure. I hurt so many people. Or, oh, I know better. I know that this person is hurting me. It may be. But really, at the end of the day, you are the one hurting yourself by not taking responsibility. So in the height of the loops or in the low of the loops, the tyrant and the aggressor, or the depressed, the guilty, is still in a loop. There's no right action in there. Right action is removing all these agendas. You're not guilty. You are not an aggressor. You are beyond that. Those loops are part of the ego. The sense that it wants to be there. It wants to have some kind of existence, some kind of prana, some kind of exaltation. And it's okay to have an identity. But when that ego is riding us in the first chair, then is not the right order. The right congruence is the higher self lead the way. And that higher self is in perfect congruence and harmony with everything that exists. It understands that it's in everything and cannot hurt anybody because it's hurting itself. It cannot steal because you only have what you have earned in terms of energy and in terms of goods as well. All these loops create karma, create entanglement, create more attachments. It bruises the heart. You lose faith. But you have to have sincerity if you want to let it go of that addiction of that pain. You have to have focus. So, hopefully these examples is helpful. And if you have any examples, write it down. Right? For example, what happened with the person that hurt? Say, you are bad. You're a bad woman. You did that to me. If that other friend believes that, is receiving a wrong action and is in agreement with that wrong action. Maintain yourself pure. You are not a victim or a definition of somebody's blames. Don't rely on the opinion of others. Reflect on your own action. Take what is yours and keep walking in the path of purity and the right action. Hopefully this is of your aid, and I will see you in the next lesson. Bye for now. Namaste.